Do you think politicians have a good relationship with young people?
I think it's getting a better one. I think in the past, maybe Westminster hasn't had a good relationship with young people, and I think we've seen that because more and more young people don't think it's worth voting. But I think that over time, Parliament is starting to talk more about the sorts of issues that matter to young people, like knife crime and youth-on-youth crime. So I think over time, hopefully we can make sure that young people realise that voting is something that's good to do.
Why should young people vote?
Well, I think if you were going out shopping to buy your wardrobe, you wouldn't let your mum and dad choose it. And I think the same thing is true for your government. So if you want a government that's going to represent you and focus on the things that matter to you, then you've got to be in there, like everyone else, putting your cross against an MP and a party that you think is going to do a job for you and not somebody else. So no, you've got to be in it to win it, as it were.
How are you making policies age relevant?
To talk to young people and actually get out and engage with them, and that means if you're a local MP, being out knocking on doors, going into schools, talking to students, getting people into your office doing work experience. That's a great chance to sort of get to know people and find out what their issues are, all sorts of stuff.
Okay, give us some positive news about young people.
The young people I meet are getting involved in all sorts of volunteering opportunities. There's this fantastic charity on the Alton estate called Regenerate that has young people working with other young people, and they've just done some brilliant stuff. In fact, last year they were out in, I think it was Kenya, doing a community project over there. There's all sorts of great stuff that young people are involved in, and I think often it's a shame we don't get more time, particularly in the media, to talk about the great stuff that our younger, sort of next up-and-coming generation of leaders and people are doing.
With Britain being seen largely on the world platform as a digital dinosaur, in 2012 we're welcoming the world to our doorstep with the London Games. Do you think our digital infrastructure will be ready, or are we going to look like complete idiots?
Well, I certainly hope we don't look like idiots, and I think it will be ready, but I think we've got to make sure it is ready. So it's not ready yet, so we've got to get it there. And that's, like you say, really, really important, because when we have the Olympics in London, hopefully it'll be this fantastic, amazing opportunity for not just London, but the United Kingdom.
Okay. Define the word problem.
Oh, that's a great question. Define the word problem. Something that you think isn't right that ought to be.
There aren't any jobs around and there's no actual help to find work experience. What do you propose to do about this? How do people get experience without obtaining experience and not being able to get their foot in the door?
Again, fantastic question, and really, really important one, because I'm sure you know that we've now got more young people who aren't in education, employment or training than we pretty much ever had before. So it is a real problem, and when I talk to young people, particularly in my constituency, many of them are really frustrated because they feel like whichever avenue they want to go down, it's hard. So if they're going to university now, they might have wanted to pay their way through university by getting a part-time job. That's really difficult in a recession now. If they want to get an apprenticeship, it's really, really hard, because often they can't move away from home because they can't afford to live somewhere else. So we've talked about more apprenticeships. We want to give people more chance to be able to get to university from disadvantaged backgrounds. Most of all, the most important thing for me is actually not to sort of try and paper over the cracks and sort of help people who haven't quite had as good a start by the time it's gone wrong. What we should be doing is making sure they get the best start in the first place.
Have you seen the state of London's roads? Have you ever cycled in London?
I have cycled on London's road. In fact, occasionally I've cycled into work from Putney, which is about, I think, 7 miles, just under. It's a difficult journey because it's generally downhill on the way to work, and then I have to go uphill on the way back from work. So it's not the best cycle. And in terms of the state of the road, right now London's roads are probably not in a great state because of the snow that we've had. Lots of potholes, and they'll all have to be fixed. I think what's interesting for cycling in London though, the last Mayor, Ken Livingstone, did a lot of, I think, really good stuff on cycling to sort of get people out on their bikes and out of their cars. And I think the Mayor now, Boris Johnson, he is a cyclist, so he's done loads of stuff. We're going to have these cycle superhighways. So my observation about the state of the roads is that we can always make them better, but I do think we need to look at trying to keep cyclists a bit more safe when they're on road, and hopefully some of these cycle superhighways might make it a bit easier for us all to get around. But certainly my constituents, a lot of us cycle pretty regularly.